I'm Crystal DeBacker. I'm the media coordinator for the City of Van Alstyne, and I'm here for another City Leader interview. I've got Judy Kimzey, the director of the Public Library here in Van Alstyne, and we're going to get to know a little bit about her. All right, so Judy, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
It's my pleasure, Crystal. I'm always thrilled to talk about the library, as you know.
Well, and we're here to talk about you actually a little bit more, even
okay.
So. I know. So we're going to get to know our city leaders. We're going to learn more about you as well, and of course, what the Van Alstyne Public Library has to offer. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, kind of a unique story where I came from, and library science was not my first career choice. Growing up, what's interesting is libraries have always been a part of my life, and we've attended them throughout my childhood. But one of those things, kind of like breathing, you don't know, gosh, you can have a career in doing these things. I just didn't ever think about it. Fast forward into adulthood and moved from Arkansas to Texas. And
welcome.
Thank you. As a young adult, my formal training is in the medical field as a phlebotomist and x-ray technician. And we moved to Van Alstyne, my husband and I at the time. There are just not a lot of doctor's offices or any x-ray facilities, so I found myself at odds. And of course, I found my way to our library.
So that was your first step when you moved here, essentially?
One of.
Okay.
Yes, one of.
And what brought you to Van Alstyne first then?
What brought me to Van Alstyne was really a fluke. My husband's parents built home builders in the area and moved into a home here off Preakness Place.
Oh,
it was
I love that.
A steeplechase was one of the first organized additions in Van Alstyne that I can recall. So this was going on 24 years ago that I arrived in Van Alstyne, found my way to the library and said, I have some time on my hands in between jobs. Would you happen to need any help with a volunteer?
Wow.
And it was an enthusiastic, yes, very much so. And so I started volunteering here part-time and discovered how much more libraries were than just the one facet that I was used to using with just reading for pleasure. It didn't take long before I was smitten and fell in love. And that turned into a part-time position. And then when Grayson College came and built the South Campus here, yes, that long ago, they utilized our public library for their academic library.
Oh, wow.
And they needed a full-time liaison to do that. So a full-time position became open. I got it. And the rest is history, as they say. I've been in the director's role now for 9.
That's so interesting because it feels like such a natural role for you. I mean, I didn't know your life before you were the director of a library, but it feels like that was something that was just always going to happen for you. So to hear that it was just something that nearly a hobby, kind of filling this gap.
Yes.
It just fits so well. I'm glad it worked out that way.
The right person in the right place at the right time, and it just came together and blossomed into something fantastic and amazing. And watching these kids grow, and once you empower them with resources and say, I will back you and we'll make this happen, what do you got? And the cool thing about libraries is there's nothing that we don't have a toe in. If you think about, we have access to all information. So if you want to rebuild your small engine, if you want to raise a goat, if you want to write a book, all of those things there's really nothing we can't help with or find resources to assist you.
So this is the bug catching kit that we just referred to? Okay.
This is our Backyard Explorer kit. In the front pocket, you're going to have an inventory list. And in this pack, we have a venomous spider ID card, a bug catching holder, tweezers, net, and magnifiers, the quick release catch. We have 6 actual bugs in resins, and then the backpack itself, and then a whole collection of books. Oh, wait, there's a compass, flashlight, binoculars, a fun explorer hat that you can really get into the role, and then the educational resources. Also included is some fact sheets that we put together. This is about brown recluses and black widows. So this talks about the books that we have and some of the things that are there in the pack to take home.
So anyone can come and pick this up. And what's it look like to borrow this? You rent it out like a book and you return it?
Absolutely.
Very cool. Oh my gosh, cute. Yeah, little tweezers and everything. I love that. It's great to have hands-on things because I think kids just naturally are going to gravitate towards this as well.
Absolutely.
Ooh, very cool. And 9 of these.
Yes.
Okay. Which one is your favorite, you think? Do you have a favorite?
I don't.
No?
I don't. There's, I will say that we have some in development right now that because of their immense popularity, we literally cannot keep them in-house. These were pulled for some repair work and replacing some parts. It's the only reason why I have them to show today.
Yes. Wow.
So with
That's
that
successful
Oh my
Project.
gosh.
Wow.
Yes.
And how long have you had these?
We launched these at the beginning of our summer reading program, which would be at the
Okay.
beginning of June.
Wow.
Yes.
So this is a mobile hotspot that we just
It is.
referenced. Okay.
It is. Going back to our conversation about how important access to the internet is. If you don't have access to the internet, come borrow a hotspot from us. And
Okay.
so this ties into the Sprint 5G network
Okay.
and can support up to 10 devices. The next resource I would like
Wow.
to talk about is what are these enormous binoculars.
Yeah.
And these are actually specialized binoculars called astronomy binoculars. I had not ever seen a pair or heard of them until we won a grant from NASA, I believe, several years ago. And here came our first set of astronomy binoculars.
Wow.
But these are high-powered binoculars that you have the capacity, the same strength as a telescope. And it comes with the binoculars as well as a tripod. Again, talking about, now you need somehow to learn about what you're looking at. And so the resources to learn about the constellations and the planets, so forth. For any amateur stargazer or astronomist, come and get one of these. We actually have two.
All right. So what are you most excited about that you know is coming up in Van Alstyne?
A new library.
Yes.
And while there's, just talk right now, nothing more firm than that.
Yeah.
But it's talk. And
Okay.
It's in other words, it's not just a dream or a fantasy floating through my mind and other library advocates' minds. It's been said by folks at higher levels. And
Very
so, yes, knowing that a new library is coming and knowing what our community is growing into, the vision that Lane has and the leadership that he's provided, knowing that a library is we're not going to do this wrong. It's
Right.
going to be done right, and it's going to be spectacular. And I am so excited about that. One last thing kind of flashed in my mind is going back to, again, who are our city leaders? And they're people that live here. We're not just coming to work. This is our home. You
It's
think
your
about
community as well.
Yes, I think that the way we interact with our new neighbors is with a graciousness that says, welcome to my home.
Yep.
And this is now your home. And let me show you all the really super cool things here.
Yes.
And our history being one of the, if not the number one super cool thing about Van Alstyne. And it's thankful to our leaders for making sure that that's made a priority
Absolutely.
and treasured the way that Lane has done.
So you know very thoroughly about the library, and this is probably part of your answer, I'm sure, but is there anything else that you wish more people knew about Van Alstyne? I would probably say the library, right?
Right. I was casting about to come up. It's when I became a new resident in Van Alstyne, I too suffered with the same subconscious phenomenon of going south for everything. I'd come from Plano, and subconscious had this mistaken belief that I couldn't get anything here, and that I had to go south. Now, some things that was true, and this was 23 years ago. But yeah, you can't get my film developed. And that's not even a thing anymore. Geez, I've dated myself. But yeah, or go shoe shopping, but we now can. But I guess what I'd like people to understand is there's a lot more culture and arts and appreciation and a much wider variety of goods and services to be found here than what folks are assuming of a small town.
That is so well said. And that's something that Candy Hessel has done a great job bringing in vendors at our events to highlight that. A lot of those vendors are people that live here, whether it's their full-time job or whether it's something that they're doing on the side. Mayor Jim has talked about that as well. People that, Dave, he is the director of the CDC. He's talked about how people have second jobs or they're opening their own business on the side, things like that. We've got industrial parks and different sort of warehouses that are allowing people to do that in their community as well.
Yes.
But you're exactly right. There's such a well-rounded community here that has so much to offer. Yes. And I think that between the events that Candy plans and then our farmers market, they're doing a great job highlighting some of those businesses and offerings.
I agree. And people are visiting our town that would not have thought to stop and stereotyped us as a typical small Texas town. And we are not typical in any means, way, shape, form, or fashion.
Well said. Okay, so in regards to Van Alstyne and your role here, what kind of legacy do you wish that you could leave?
A legacy is a personal thing. And while I don't wish to put my personal stamp on something and have a name, a building in my name, like say the new library, just saying, I would want very much to be able to step into retirement with the knowledge that the library is on on firm footing with that new building, with the staff that we need to supply and provide these services and resources to our community. To come back really briefly to some statistics about summer reading, we posted triple-digit increases, and I knew we were busy, but to do the math and look at the percentages, yes, you'll be seeing that in my budget presentation, FY25. So yeah, the people that were coming for so many years, they arrived and they're here, and they all showed up at our summer reading program.
Absolutely.
But yes, I want the library to be on firm footing, to maintain our position as one of the best small libraries in North Texas, and maybe one of the best mid-sized to large libraries one day.
I love that. Absolutely. And you're well on your way. There's no question. The summer reading program, these resources, these are things that I think just really are just like the tip of the iceberg on what the library offers. It really is a place for the whole community to come out.
Yes.
I know that when you had the Pro truck out here,
Oh
that
my
was
gosh.
incredible. That was absolutely incredible. And it's things that it's hard for the average person to commute down to Dallas for offerings like that. And you facilitate in making that come to us, which is such a blessing. There's no doubt you will leave an incredible legacy here at the Public Library and Van Alstyne as a whole.
It certainly was a team effort, and thank you for the opportunity to give credit to the staff and the literally decades of support that this community has provided us.
Awesome. I love that. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This was absolutely wonderful. I hope
A
that
pleasure.
everyone gets to watch this and learn
Thank
more
you.
about the offerings, and hopefully they're banging down your door. And actually, I will say I hope to rent this in November when I go to Broken Bow, so no one borrow these telescopes. But again, thank you so much for your time. This is
My
wonderful
pleasure.
information that not everyone knows about, and so I hope that you guys will come visit the Van Alstyne Public Library.